we'll go ahead and go. We're in the coma of Christmas food and sugar, but it'll be what it is today. It'll be what it is. But we are in, what is it? You just said it. How many days of Christmas is this?
The fourth day of Christmas.
Hold on. So this is Monday. This is Thursday. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. So the fourth day of Christmas, which is why, liturgically speaking, this tree is going to be here for another little while.
On the fourth day of Christmas, Ryan and Mason gave to the viewers a very unauthorized caucus. It doesn't quite fit the
not the gift of song.
I already gave them the gift of song. You were welcome.
Oh boy, we're off to a wonderful start. Welcome everyone, by the way, to our weird mid-holiday caucus. Christmas has happened. We're looking forward to New Year's here this upcoming weekend, weekend, because New Year's Eve is what most people celebrate, and New Year's Day on Monday. But we're a little punchy, and we're probably going to keep this one short, and we're going to be totally transparent. This isn't exactly Thursday at noon. This one isn't, because it is right in the middle of family travel. So we fit it in here and it's current, but it's not exactly Thursday at noon. So if something earth-shatteringly big happened Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time, we may not be addressing it. Just warning you.
That thing that just happened half an hour ago.
Yeah, exactly.
We will comment on that in a week.
We'll comment on that in a week. But this is current enough, and we have some stuff that we want to talk about. But before we do that, go to philschlafly.com, sign up for the email list, get all these things into your inboxes, including the resource email that is going to come today, which is a resource email I think you're going to want to see. I always say that, but this one actually, I really, these are some good links that I've got going. I know he has probably. You're going to want to see them. So go do that. And then, of course, wherever you are, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the big red button on YouTube, big green on Rumble. Is it the big black button now on Twitter or X?
It's white.
It's white?
The follow button?
The X is white. But the little...
If you're to follow somebody, it's a white button, I believe. Yep,
but also...
It's a white button.
It's a white button. Okay, cool. Well, just so you know, new things are happening this week. We tampered with it last week, but this week we are streaming live on Instagram. Yeah, we messed with it last week, but we didn't tell anyone. But this week we're streaming live on Instagram, and in the upcoming weeks, we're going to have some live chat going on Twitter now. They've integrated a new feature that is coming over to us, so we're adopting that as soon as we can. So
live
cool
on
stuff.
X. X. It's called X.
Live on X. It is called X.
That's the 2024 energy. We're officially into the next year
of X. If you stutter 2 times, you all of a sudden have a scandal on your hands. So XXX. And they have to explain. Anyway, I was
just going to let you say it.
Twitter,
not me.
Happens.
Somebody clip that.
We can't all be Vin Diesel, but everyone can think that they can try. So there's some cool new stuff coming from 2024 to your screens, and we're going to do our best to come along with it. I apologize, by the way, for any coughing I do. I'm a little bit hoarse from too much activity, it seems. But everyone's doing their year in review, and we decided we wanted to do 2024 in preview because we're forward thinking. We like the future. Futurists. Can we call ourselves futurists now?
If you
political futurist.
I mean, I think that label's already been taken.
That's not true. Like we've got, it can be applied to a specific, like people who specific at futurology or systematically.
The only futurists I know are the Italian futurists that Mussolini came out
No, because Mark Schneider, our good friend at Sub Schneider on Twitter, he does the Gen 4 nuclear stuff. He calls himself a nuclear futurist. I feel like we could adopt it,
but as its own political label. That's a
political futurist.
That's a pre-World War II Italian thing.
All right, fine. Be specific. You take all the joy out of New Year's.
Christmas is over. It's time for sadness.
Christmas is over. It's time for sadness.
No, Christmas is still going. Christmas is 12 days long, so keep on being holly and jolly, even into a couple days into the new year. You got till January 5th, and then you know what's on January 6th. Right? Well, I was thinking something else.
Oh, well, the second Epiphany? Sorry. I didn't mean to make that sacrilegious. Yeah, January 6th, Mason has his ideas for what the former president of the United States should announce, but we'll see. January 6th, of course. Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, January 6th.
January 6th is just a big anniversary, couple times over. So,
yep.
But no, I'll say that we'll dive into it here. We are going to keep it short because, as you can tell, we are extremely punchy and tired. But I will say, there has been a lot. 2024 is pretty much, I think, going to be about presidential news. Even if you're not into politics, even if it's not your thing, like it is ours.
I'd be surprised if you're watching the show, but we're glad
that's
you tuned
true.
in.
But it's going to be the year where that's just going to consume everything, and it has actually. Like the week before Christmas, and I think that's what we want to talk about. The week before Christmas, the Colorado Supreme Court jettisoned Trump off the ballot, supposedly. Again, so far, I guess there's still the chance of a few different maneuvers. But the Colorado Supreme Court jettisoned Trump off of their ballot in 2024. California announced, what did you say? The Secretary of State or the Attorney General had asked? The Attorney General had asked the Secretary of State, right?
The Lieutenant Governor asked the Secretary of State all the legal possible means that they could pursue so as to prohibit Trump from participating in the election.
And this has, well, here's the thing. We have an episode planned. Pardon me as I move this down. Just realizing I don't want to buzz and hum everyone out, and we're trying to work out some of the kinks of our mics these last couple weeks. We've got a couple of ideas planned, and we've actually had some viewer feedback to have a little bit of a conversation about the primary candidates, which I think at this point, it's kind of a moot point. Whether or not we liked Trump or you like Trump or not, Trump is absolutely dominating the polls. That's the direction we're going. So we could have that conversation. It might be a good exercise. This is not that, though.
Right.
And I think that this one is one that everyone needs to understand, especially some of our friends who are more inclined toward the Ron DeSantis's or, heaven forbid, the Nikki Haley's. Sorry, just my personal opinion, inserting it there. But people who are interested in other primary candidates may not see the significance. And I think that we all need to understand the significance of what's going on here with the states, blue states, trying to remove Trump from the ballot completely. And they're doing it under the guise of Section 3 verse. You can tell I'm in Christmas mode. I'm about to just go straight to the Bible. But Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, they are using, finding that he is not, Colorado says, Trump is not eligible to hold office, the office of the President of the United States, because he incited the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. He's an insurrectionist. But the constitutional stipulation for those who engage in insurrection, well, it actually doesn't apply to the presidency. Like there's a lot of layers here. There's a lot of layers.
Well, it was meant to apply to Confederate generals and politicians to prevent them from, being elected in the United States.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why originally this was found by a district judge to not pass muster. The Supreme Court had to take it up, and the Supreme Court is it every single one of the Supreme Court members is in Colorado is appointed by a Democrat, or was it just every single one of the majority that voted this through? Because it was a 4-3 decision right the week before Christmas that this came out. But the more that you look at this, there is scant direct evidence to apply this to Trump and the presidency and the subject of disqualification. They're really pushing the boundaries of what has ever been argued or decided upon. So this is just already kind of a few steps out in front of anything that's ever been discussed before. So there's a lot of unknowns, but you start past a lot of this stuff doesn't pass the smell test because most of the reasons that they're doing this are, he's not been convicted of anything. Like maybe fine. You can even say there are indictments or charges pending against him.
But he hasn't been charged with insurrection.
Right. He's never been charged with insurrection. He hasn't been convicted of anything, even misdemeanors. Like, this seems a bit premature, which leads you to, well, it's not so much that this is a response to an unlawful act by an individual in the United States. This is a pre-response, a meddling or a rigging, if you will, of people who are worried about the election going a certain way, almost whether or not he's found guilty of anything. I think, and that was the Federalist there. And the Federalist I like the Federalist, but that's not exactly like, Trump rah-rah Central 101. Right. Like the Federalists are pretty principled writers. They go completely whichever direction they want to based on their values. They don't just yay Trump everything. And their headline was Colorado Supreme Court rigs 2024 election by barring Trump from the ballot. Like there's really not much else you can extrapolate from this situation. Right. So I think the warning is, oh my gosh, guys, it doesn't matter if you're a Trump fan in the primary or not. We can't allow this because if they exert this kind of power, this outright rigging of the election in Colorado, if they do it to him, they can do anything they want to any one of us that they want to.
Exactly. So, I mean, if this stands, I mean, then maybe Supreme Courts in Republican states should get the same feistiness if this is going to be the liberal MO. But I mean, then it's just going to, I mean.
But see, that's the thing. They shouldn't, because what they're doing is, like, we would never suggest that, because that's just a tit for tat that, like, this, this is one of those. I really hope this situation, all of the Nikki fans, all of the Vivek fans, all of the Chris Christie fans go, I don't like Trump, but this is no bueno. We can't let them do this. Like, guys, I mean, that's what Vivek even came out and made his pledge, which I want to make sure that you get a chance to fully go into this before we go into the reactions, because I actually saw a couple of interesting things I wanted to unpack and talk about. But yeah, this is an opportunity for everyone to realize, whether this is my guy or not, we can't let this happen the way that it's happening. This is bad news for all of us and for the country. Bad news.
Yeah, it's really something. And I think that this is this is an opportunity that in Trump's 4 interim years before he once again assumes the office of president, which will happen. I have full confidence in that. And, and I really hope I'm right. But if, the stuff that they've been dragging him through the mud with, these election interference, and we have the mugshot situation, we have all these charges brought up against the president. It's this is an opportunity for, even if this decision gets overturned, this is an opportunity for the Republicans, once we're back in power, to strike back in the exact same way, because because he hasn't even been charged with insurrection. He hasn't been convicted of insurrection, which means that they are way beyond their limits as a legal body in Colorado to restrict him in this way. Like, this is just plain and simple election interference. So, between 2024 and 2028, Trump should do exactly the same things they've been doing to him, to these judges, just to start. And then, anybody else that's going to do similar decisions in the future. Because this is it's if the left wants to try so hard to act like they think democracy is sacred and has to be protected at all costs, to the point where they're going to engage in these legal battles against their political enemies, then okay, fine, democracy is sacred and you have trampled upon it, so we're going to strike you back because you have violated this value system that you forced upon all of us. And that's the right thing to do. That is the correct political strategy going forward. And
I think, I mean, this really does lay bare to the entire narrative structured around January 6th and everything else. When you see this, the pearl clutching of, we must save the democracy, and then you see those same exact people turn around and in order to do that, that man must be destroyed at all costs, including the procedures of our democracy. Like, at first of all, to be abundantly clear, I'm using their language. We're not a democracy. We all know this. This is a tired old line, but it's true. We're a democratic republic. There's a very big distinction. We do not live by the rule of the 51%. We live by the rule of law. This is a whole different ballgame. So I know it's kind of become a trite conservative thing to say it's a republic, not a democracy. No, there's a very big difference between those two systems. Very, very big. And we are a democratic republic, voting and majorities. That's a part of it. But it's not just ruled by the mobocracy. That's as our founding fathers called it, rule by the mob. We don't do that. So in order to save the system from the big scary orange man, we have to break that system and do what we know is best. If there's anything so revealing, and I would hope that this is to a lot of people who are maybe kind of unplugged and just go along with the news, this is just so patently, like, in Congress with each other, it doesn't work. Like, they have suggested all of these things and now they're doing these things and it doesn't fit together. They are directly contradicting themselves. And I think that's very revealing. I hope that that's helpful for a lot of people who maybe are on the right side of our spectrum, in the political world, but maybe haven't quite understood the whole Trump is right, he's a good choice, or at least that messaging is a good choice because the deep state is really a thing. Or maybe people who just don't really see any of that side. If maybe this will serve as a moment that pulls back.
I think it'll be like the mugshot. This will be like the mugshot. This is just going to draw more attention to Trump. It's going to make people look at him more favorably. Maybe not by his own merits, but like, why do these people hate him so much? Why are they so desperate to keep him out of the office? And it's because he's a legitimate threat to their system. And I don't think he's as much of a threat to their system as they say he is.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he was, but
Right.
I think he's a threat to the system in a way that I don't think the other primary contenders could ever be, except for maybe Vivek, but he's not running for president in actuality.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing predictions across the board of the surge this will cause. That's why part of me is scared, because I know what they're willing to do, and I see it and say, oh my gosh, they're taking drastic steps. This worries me for what the next drastic steps will be. But the other part of me says, my goodness, how could you idiots hand this victory to him? Like, look at what you're doing. Why would you give him the mugshot? Don't ever even take one. You know that that's only going to work for him.
Right.
It's the same thing with this. You push him off the ballot like this, especially with no convictions, not even an indictment or a charge of insurrection. All you're doing is handing him more power, because more and more people are going to go, wait a minute.
Right.
Nope, I'm out now. Now I like the man. Like, that's what keeps happening. It's this snowball effect.
Right.
So the question is, okay, can you cheat enough to offset the people that you're sending his way every time you do these things? Because you better be able to cheat enough. You're creating a big fandom over here.
I don't know if they did in 2020. They did interfere with the election in 2020. And you think about it, if they're willing to, completely take him off the ballot, you really think it's beyond the left to ballot harvest? And it's on video, but even if you haven't really looked at those things, is it these people that are willing to take him off the ballot, which is something that not even, people talk like Putin's a tyrant, yada. He like defeats his political opponents through rigged elections, but he doesn't even take them off the ballot. He just fakes the elections, and that's how he keeps his power. But now they're taking the opposition off of the ballot, which I think is this is like a wow moment for a lot of people, because growing up, any kind of school you went to, if you studied history, you probably heard about random countries that purported to be democracies, but they had rigged elections. And my wife always tells me the story of like in middle school, when they would tell about these, or like Russia or something, everybody would be like, wow, that's crazy, that could never happen here. That's what's happening today. That is the situation that we're in.
And that's right before we got on, as we were talking about this topic, that was one of my comments was, I mean, it really is just, again, apply the smell test. Like, look at things logically and rationally, and a lot of stuff doesn't stack up. You're probably kind of on the right path anymore. A lot of people don't bother applying those kinds of tests to some of these things. But I mean, I look at it and I say, if he is so horrible and noxious to our American way of life, why are you so worried? Like, just leave him on and let no one vote for him.
Right.
Don't you guys outvote us because there's not enough of us? Like,
right.
You can't have it both ways. If you're so worried about him that you have to take him off of the ballot, that just proves that there's more of us than you if you're afraid of it. So then what are you going to do about the rest of us? Because what if we just find another person? Or what if we just do something like it doesn't even, it's not logical. It's completely in contradiction to their story in other things and the things that they say. It's really nuts.
Well, this reminds me, I got to pull up my phone for it, but there's a meme that a couple people have sent me this morning of it's a spoof of Trump's kind of like dispatches from the official campaign statements, but it's you might have seen this, but it's a quote from Roman history. And it's a Trump campaign statement on the Colorado Supreme Court ruling starts, soldiers, Pompey and the Senate have formally declared that Gaius Julius Caesar is an enemy of Rome. They have declared that I am a criminal. They have declared, in effect, that all of you also are criminals. Tribune's veto was not exercised. People's Tribune Mark Antony and 50 men of the 13th were assaulted by 1,000 head of Pompeian scum. A tribune of the plebs assaulted on the steps of the Senate House. Can you imagine a more terrible sacrilege? Our beloved republic is in the hands of madmen. This is indeed a dark day, and I stand at a fork in the road. I can surrender my arms in accordance with the law and watch Rome fall to tyranny and chaos, or I can return home with my sword in my hand and run these maniacs to the Tarpeian Rock. Which
this must be a boomer meme, because normally memes have a lot less text.
It's a Caesar quote.
That's for very literary minded. No, I know it is. I'm just saying that's a lot of text.
It is a Caesar quote that is, I think, so incredibly poignant to the situation.
Yeah. Also, thank you for making sure we restarted our clock until the next time one of us mentions the Roman Empire. Falling into that trope as well.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, go ahead.
There's two things I think about every day. It's Rome and Trump.
Rome and Trump.
Yep.
Oh man, no, it is. I mean, this is, it really is very poignant for where we are and what's happening right
Hmm.
now. It's very interesting.
If Trump is a criminal, all of us are.
Well, and I was about to say, that's the thing is like, well, if they're doing this to him,
Hmm.
if he's the criminal, then where does that leave the rest of us? I mean, we're all at this point, in the same boat. So that kind of leads us to what do we do? What's the response to this? There have been a couple of different ones, and that's why one of them, at least, I want to get your take on. First of all, I saw the Colorado GOP has already started talking. They said that they would use a caucus system instead of use the official primary election system if this state Supreme Court stands up.
Hmm.
So already the Colorado GOP is saying, fine, if that's the way you're going to do it, then we're just going to conduct our primary election a different way. Which, I mean, good for them for just immediately responding. And I'm sure this has been on the wavelengths for them for a little while about thinking about it. So they've had some idea. But I mean, of course, Trump's appealing this, and we'll see how long it takes. But I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and of course, one of them, almost immediately last week when this came out, Vivek came out with a nice video and put it up from the bus. You could tell they're on the road doing something, and basically said he pledged to withdraw from the Colorado primary if they did not fight to reinstate Trump to the ballot, and he demanded that his colleagues do the same thing. Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis do the same thing, because to his point, like this is not just him. This is all of us. If we allow the system, if we allow these unelected, people, these bureaucrats combined with judges, combined with this and that and the other, to do this to us, like it doesn't matter. It's him today, and that benefits the three of us, or the four of us, the three of us. That benefits the three of us. But what if it's so and so tomorrow, and the next like it's eventually going to be us? This is the Bonhoeffer thing. Like I got to stand up for this person because this is not the way that this works. Even if I don't love that guy, this isn't how it goes. Which I saw a few people expressing what they admitted were unpopular opinions, but how this protest of his to remove himself from the ballot is not the right move because it's ineffective. It doesn't actually hurt the enemy. So why would he do this? What else could he do? And I don't, like, I look at it and I say, I don't know if it's so much hurting the enemy so much as getting everyone on your side of the aisle to understand we have got to all talk about this, and we have got to all understand the threat here. Like we have to, all of us, do something, because too often, well, that's just Trump. Maybe we let them take him down. No, like we can't do that. It doesn't work that way. So I've seen a lot of,
well, because they are never satisfied.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. I've seen a lot of good for Vivek, and I've seen a lot of no, we have to do something else, but no one seems to be suggesting anything else. So I'm kind of like, I'm wondering what your take on that is. I think that what he did is the right thing, because I think it's about raising awareness, and I think it's about raising voices, because I don't believe we're beyond that point yet. But I think that we're very quickly getting there, where they just almost won't care what the peons say. It doesn't matter if it's all of us. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the best move for the GOP in Colorado is to adopt the caucus system, if that allows them to circumvent this election meddling by the Colorado Supreme Court. But yeah, and I think it would be, it's not going to do much if it's only Vivek that takes his name off the Colorado ballot. But if he can get the other candidates on board, and they should, I mean, but like, have they commented on this? Has DeSantis and Nikki Haley commented on this? Like,
I mean, at the time of recording, no.
Yeah, and if they haven't, their silence is deafening on this issue. Like, are you people kidding me right now? But this is a big moment, and you really have to decide what side you're on here. Are you on the side of like, oh, well, he's Trump, we got to do anything to stop him, even if you have a little R in front of your name, even if you voted Republican your whole life, if you're just thinking, oh, Trump is too much and we have to stop him, you're going to lose. Yeah, and Trump's going to win. So sorry, but get with the program, because as our former president, once and future president, Donald J. Trump, once said, we're going to be winning so much that we're going to get tired of winning, and we're going to look at we're going to look at him. We're going to say, Mr. President, it's too much winning. We need to stop. We need to stop all this winning. We can't handle it.
This is truly one of my favorite moments. My favorite Trump quotes was from that one. Well, this just extends. I think that this is, and I mean, we'll kind of wrap it up here, because I know we're talking about something that's a little currently developing. Obviously, it's developing over the holidays, so there's a few things that may even happen.
It could look very different by the time this goes up.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we're talking about the effects of it here, but as rapidly as this changes, and then also the fact that we're in between the holidays here, stuff can change. But I think that this is a very interesting outlook for 2024. We've already kind of seen it, but the fact that this officially comes down here this week, the week before Christmas, right before we get to where we are now, right before the new year, this is the, I think, signal flag for 2024. This is how they're going to play. This is how the left is going to go. They're not going to pull any punches. They will do everything possible. Because, we talk about this with the 2020. Yeah, there was interference in the 2020 election. But if you look at it, it really, everyone always tries to, there wasn't widespread fraud. I never said anything about widespread fraud. But there were definitely, there's a good indicator as you look back across it now. You see anything from 2,000 Mules to any of the other people. You just zoom in on one little section and you realize it just takes a little bit in 5 key counties, in 3 or 4 key states, to all of a sudden have an electoral map, potentially one direction or another, the whole country over. Like, it really doesn't have to. It's not like we have to cheat everywhere and manufacture millions and millions of votes. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is very key pieces of meddling. This is one of those. This Colorado Supreme Court and California trying to figure out how to follow suit. What we're talking about is a surgical maneuver in a place that can really kind of, by their hope, put a chink in the armor of Trump and what's going on. And again, I'm of the opinion it only strengthens him at this point. But that really depends on you and us. Like, does it actually strengthen him? Does this make us realize, my gosh, if they really want this guy gone, then I like him, because these people are obviously not my friend. I mean, Trump may not be my favorite, but these people are not my friend. So anyway, it's a whole, I think this is a preview. This is what's coming for us in 2024, is to see these kinds of things over and over and over again in blue states, whether it's courts or anything else. That's what we're looking at. This is the playbook. So that's the preview for 2024. It's pretty bleak, but also to your point, and I agree, it should be places like Colorado GOP going, fine, we'll do it a different way. Don't need you. Not going to use you. Yeah. Like, we'll keep going, keep moving. Not, what do we do? Right. I don't know. So I really hope that we see, by the time, the new year gets going here into January, more and more people rolling along no, we can't let this happen. Even if he's not my pick, like, even if I've endorsed someone else, this is unacceptable. We must all fix this, because this is the wrong way to do this. Yep. So,
yeah. Well, we hope that you had a very Merry Christmas, and we hope that you have a very Happy New Year. The 2024 energy is going to be insane. The show is going to look like you've never seen it before, with the type of hot takes and energy we're going to bring to the table this next year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pop into Instagram, start checking it out, share it with some friends there. Come on to Twitter, and you can chat with us there, as well as YouTube and Rumble. We'll keep it lively, and we're going to make some changes around here. And then again, that the topics are just going to keep rolling and getting more and more spicy. So we will keep bringing it, and we'll keep talking about stuff that matters. And please, again, invitation is open. It's still technically 2023. Send us your end of the year stuff. What do you want to talk about next year? What do you want to see us do? I've already gotten some from some of you. We've gotten some from family and friends, as well as viewers of the show and other people inside the Eagle Network. So there's a lot of stuff to go down here in 2024. So we should be talking through a lot of it and looking at all the angles. So thank you for being with us today. Like he said, we hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year upcoming to you. And we look forward to seeing you next Thursday for another very unauthorized caucus. The first one of 2024. First big changeover of years. Yep. This is good. This will be good. Don't forget, go to phyllisschlafly.com, sign up, get onto the email list, sign a friend up just for fun. Little belated Christmas gift. It's free. It's not spam. You won't get in too much trouble. I promise. I don't promise that. I can't vouch for anyone that you may or may not sign up and how they react to you. But go sign up and make sure you get on the email list. Like, share, and subscribe this video. Let people know you were watching it. Ask them what they think about the topic, and start your own conversations. And we'll see you back here next Thursday for another very unauthorized caucus, the first of 2024. Have a good week and have a